What if the greatest secret to unlocking your deepest self lies not in words, rituals, or grand revelations, but in the spaces between, in the stillness where no sound dares to tread? Imagine a moment so quiet that the universe itself seems to pause, whispering truths you've always known but never heard. In the rush of modern life, where noise drowns out thought and distraction buries meaning, silence is not just an absence, it is a presence, a portal to the divine within. Welcome to a journey into the heart of silence, where the key to enlightenment awaits. In this video, we will unravel the mystery of silence as a sacred practice, a timeless gateway to profound spiritual insights. Silence is not merely the lack of sound, it is a state of being, a canvas for the soul to paint its deepest truths. Across cultures and ages, mystics, sages, and seekers have revered silence as the crucible where the self dissolves and the infinite emerges. From the meditative stillness of ancient Zen masters to the desert contemplations of early Christian hermits, silence has been the unspoken language of awakening. We'll explore why silence holds such transformative power, diving into its historical and philosophical roots, where ancient teachings reveal its role in connecting us to the eternal. We'll break down the essence of silence, how it quiets the mind's chatter, unveils hidden wisdom, and aligns us with the rhythms of existence. Through vivid metaphors and timeless stories, we'll make this esoteric concept tangible, showing how it can shift your perspective and elevate your consciousness. And most importantly, we'll share practical techniques to weave silence into your daily life, turning fleeting moments of quiet into doorways to profound clarity and peace. Prepare to step into a world where the absence of noise becomes the presence of truth. By the end of this journey, you'll see silence not as emptiness, but as the key to unlocking the infinite within you. Stay with us as we venture into the stillness, where the secrets of enlightenment await.
In the tapestry of human history, where words have built empires and sparked revolutions, it is silence that has quietly woven the threads of eternal wisdom. Across time and tradition, the greatest spiritual minds have turned to silence not as a retreat from the world, but as a bridge to the divine, a sacred space where the soul speaks what the tongue cannot. To understand why silence is the key to enlightenment, we must travel back through the annals of esoteric teachings, where ancient sages and mystics revered stillness as the cradle of cosmic truth. In the East, silence has long been the cornerstone of spiritual awakening. The Buddha, seated beneath the Bodhi tree, found enlightenment not in the clamor of debate or the recitation of scriptures, but in the profound stillness of meditation. The Buddhist concept of shunyata, or emptiness, points to silence not as a void, but as the fertile ground where the illusion of separateness dissolves, revealing the interconnectedness of all things. In the Zen tradition, koans, paradoxical riddles like, "What is the sound of one hand clapping?" are not meant to be answered with words, but to guide the practitioner into the silent abyss of direct experience, where truth lies beyond thought. Similarly, in ancient India, and woven in threads through the Vedas, the practice of mauna, sacred silence, was a discipline for yogis seeking union with the divine. The Upanishads describe the ultimate reality, Brahman, as beyond form and sound, accessible only when the mind's chatter falls silent. This reverence for silence as a path to the infinite echoes through the teachings of Advaita Vedanta, where the self merges with the universal consciousness in the absence of mental noise. In the West, silence held equal reverence among the mystics of early Christianity. The desert fathers and mothers, hermits of the 3rd and 4th centuries, fled to the desolate wilderness to dwell in silence, believing it brought them closer to God. Their practice of hezekiah, or inner stillness, was a deliberate quieting of the soul to hear the still small voice of the divine, as described in the book of Elijah. This tradition of silent contemplation carried into medieval Christian mysticism, with figures like Meister Eckhart and St. John of the Cross describing silence as the space where the soul unites with the infinite. The philosophical underpinnings of silence stretch beyond religious traditions. The ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras required his students to practice prolonged silence to cultivate inner clarity before receiving his teachings. In Stoicism, Seneca and Marcus Aurelius praised the discipline of mental silence, viewing it as a means to align with the rational order of the cosmos. Even in the existentialist philosophy of Kierkegaard, thinkers like Kierkegaard pointed to silence as a confrontation with the self, a stripping away of distractions to face the raw truth of existence. Across these traditions, silence is not merely the absence of sound, but a transformative state, a crucible where the ego dissolves and the eternal emerges. It is the space where the mind, freed from the tyranny of thought, touches the ineffable. Whether in the meditative stillness of the East or the contemplative quiet of the West, silence has been revered as the universal language of the divine, a portal to truths that words can only approximate. This historical and philosophical legacy reveals silence as more than a practice. It is a sacred act of communion with the infinite, a timeless key to enlightenment that transcends culture and creed.
Silence is not a void to be feared, but a mirror to be gazed into, a mirror that reflects the infinite depths of your own being. To understand why silence is the key to enlightenment, we must first unravel its essence, a state where the clamor of the mind falls away, revealing the radiant truth beneath. In this sacred stillness, the illusions of the ego dissolve, and the soul stands naked before the eternal. Let us dive into the heart of silence, exploring its core concepts through the lens of esoteric wisdom, illuminated by metaphors and stories that make the ineffable tangible. Imagine your mind as a turbulent lake, its surface roiled by waves of thoughts, desires, and fears. Each ripple distorts the reflection of the sky above, the infinite truth of existence. Silence is the moment when the lake stills, when the waves subside, and the sky's vastness is revealed in perfect clarity. This is not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of awareness, a state where the mind no longer narrates, but simply is. In this stillness, you touch the essence of enlightenment, a direct experience of the unity that underlies all things. At its core, silence is the gateway to the unconditioned mind. The conditioned mind, shaped by habits, beliefs, and societal noise, is a restless storyteller, weaving narratives that obscure reality. It labels, judges, and clings, creating a veil between you and the truth. Silence dismantles this veil. When you cease to speak, think, or react, you create space for the unconditioned to emerge, the part of you that exists beyond time, beyond identity, beyond duality. This is what the mystics call the ground of being, the silent source from which all existence flows. Consider the analogy of a darkened room filled with treasures. The room is your consciousness, and the treasures are the insights and truths within you. But in the chaos of daily life, the room is lit by flickering, chaotic lights, thoughts, distractions, emotions that cast shadows and obscure the treasures. Silence is the act of turning off those lights,
allowing the room to fall into a stillness so profound that the treasures glow with their own radiance. In this quiet, you see what was always there, the boundless wisdom of your own soul. One of the first insights silence reveals is the impermanence of thought. Thoughts arise and fade like clouds in a vast sky, yet we cling to them, mistaking them for reality. In silence, you become the sky, not the clouds. You observe thoughts without attachment, realizing they are not you, but mere visitors passing through. This detachment is the seed of liberation. As the Zen master Dojin wrote, to study the self is to forget the self. Silence allows you to forget the false self, the ego, and remember the true self, which is one with the infinite. Silence also unveils the interconnectedness of all things. In the noise of daily life, we perceive ourselves as separate, isolated islands in a sea of others. But in silence, the boundaries blur. You sense the pulse of existence, the subtle rhythm that connects your breath to the wind, your heartbeat to the stars. This is not a concept to be understood, but a truth to be felt. A story from the Sufi tradition illustrates this. A seeker asked a master, "How do I find God?" The master led him to a river and held his head underwater until he gasped for air. When you crave God as you craved breath, you will find him in the silence, the master said. In that desperate stillness, the seeker felt the unity of all life, a glimpse of enlightenment. Yet silence is not just a passive state, it is a dynamic, active presence. It requires courage to face the quiet, for it strips away the distractions we use to shield ourselves from truth. In silence, you confront your fears, your doubts, your essence. But within this confrontation lies transformation. By resting in silence, you align with the natural flow of existence, like a leaf settling gently onto a stream, carried effortlessly by the current. In this first part of our exploration, we've seen silence as the still lake, the darkened room, the vast sky, a state of pure awareness that reveals the impermanence of thought and the unity of existence. But this is only the beginning. In the next part, we'll delve deeper, exploring the nuances of silence, its paradoxes, and how it reshapes our perception of reality itself.
Having glimpsed silence as the still lake reflecting the infinite, we now venture deeper into its mysteries, where paradoxes shimmer and truths unfold like petals in the dawn. Silence is not a single note, but a symphony of subtleties, a dance of presence and absence that reshapes our very perception of reality. In this second part, we explore the nuances of silence, its contradictions, its hidden depths, and its power to transform not just the mind, but the way we inhabit the world. Through metaphors, stories, and esoteric insights, we'll uncover how silence becomes the alchemical fire that forges enlightenment. One of the great paradoxes of silence is that it is both empty and full. It is the void where thoughts dissolve, yet it is pregnant with potential, holding the seeds of all creation. The Taoist text, Tao Te Ching, captures this. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. Silence is that emptiness, the space that contains everything. In meditation, when you sit in silence, you may at first encounter a barren quiet, a seeming nothingness. But as you linger, this emptiness reveals itself as a vastness, alive with the hum of existence. This is the silence of the cosmos, the same stillness that birthed stars and galaxies. To dwell in it is to touch the source of all things. Another nuance lies in silence's ability to reveal the illusory nature of time. In the noise of daily life, we are bound to the ticking clock, chasing past regrets or future hopes. But silence suspends time. It is the eternal now, where past and future collapse into a single, radiant moment. Consider a lone violinist playing a note that hangs in the air, perfect and complete. Silence is that note, unending, unhurried, whole. In this timeless space, you glimpse what the mystics call eternity, not a duration, but a state of being where all is one. The Hindu sage Ramana Maharshi taught that the true self exists only in this present moment, accessible through silence, where the illusion of time melts away. Silence also confronts us with its shadow, the discomfort it can evoke. To sit in silence is to face the raw edges of the self, fears, doubts, and unresolved wounds that the mind's chatter often drowns out. This is where silence becomes a crucible. Like a blacksmith's forge, it heats and shapes the soul, burning away impurities. A story from the Zen tradition illustrates this. A monk, frustrated by his inability to find peace in silence, complained to his master. The master replied, "Your mind is a monkey, swinging from branch to branch. Let it tire itself out, and in the stillness that follows, you will find clarity." The discomfort of silence is not a barrier, but a gateway, teaching us to release resistance and embrace what is.
The wisdom of silence is not a distant star reserved for mystics atop lonely mountains. It is a flame you can kindle in the heart of your daily life. To unlock the profound spiritual insights of silence, you must weave it into your existence, transforming ordinary moments into sacred encounters with the infinite. In this section, we offer practical techniques to cultivate silence, guiding you to integrate its transformative power into your routine. These practices, rooted in ancient traditions yet accessible to the modern seeker, will help you quiet the mind, deepen awareness, and open the door to enlightenment. We'll also address common challenges, ensuring your path to stillness is clear and attainable. 1. Morning silence ritual, 5 to 10 minutes daily. Begin your day with intentional silence to set the tone for inner clarity. Find a quiet space, perhaps by a window or in a corner of your home, and sit comfortably, spine straight, hands resting gently. Close your eyes and focus on your breath, letting each inhale and exhale anchor you in the present. Do not force thoughts away. Instead, observe them as clouds drifting across a vast sky. If your mind wanders, gently return to your breath. Start with 5 minutes, gradually increasing to 10. This practice, inspired by Zen meditation, creates a silent foundation for your day, aligning you with the stillness within. Tip for challenges. If restlessness arises, acknowledge it without judgment. Try counting your breaths. Inhale 1, exhale 2, up to 10, then repeat, to anchor your focus. If external noise intrudes, use it as part of the practice. Notice the sound without labeling it, letting it blend into the silence. 2. The pause practice throughout the day. In the rush of daily life, brief moments of silence can be powerful. Several times a day, perhaps during a break, before a meal, or while waiting, pause for 30 seconds to a minute. Close your eyes if possible, take a deep breath, and let your awareness settle into the present. Notice the sensations in your body, the rhythm of your breath, or the subtle sounds around you. This practice, akin to the Sufi tradition of stopping the world, creates pockets of stillness that reconnect you to the eternal now. Tip for challenges. If you feel too busy, start with just one pause daily, perhaps tying it to a routine like drinking water or checking your phone. Set a gentle reminder, like a phone alarm with a soft chime, to prompt your pause.
3. Silent walks in nature. Weekly, 20 to 30 minutes. Nature amplifies silence, its rhythms harmonizing with your own. Once a week, take a walk in a park, forest, or quiet street without headphones or distractions. Walk slowly, letting your senses drink in the world, the rustle of leaves, the warmth of sunlight, the scent of earth. As thoughts arise, let them pass without engaging. This practice, rooted in Taoist walking meditations, aligns you with the silent pulse of existence, fostering a sense of unity with all things. Tip for challenges. If your mind feels restless, focus on the sensation of your feet touching the ground, syncing each step with your breath. If you live in a noisy urban area, seek out a quiet corner, or even practice this indoors, visualizing a natural setting. 4. Silent journaling. Evening, 10 to 15 minutes. At the end of your day, sit with a notebook and practice silent reflection. Begin with a minute of stillness, closing your eyes and breathing deeply. Then, write whatever arises, thoughts, feelings, insights, without editing or judging. Let the pen flow as an extension of silence, capturing the whispers of your soul. This practice, inspired by contemplative traditions, helps you process the day and uncover hidden truths that emerge in quiet. Tip for challenges. If you feel stuck, start with a prompt like, "What did silence reveal to me today?" If emotions overwhelm, pause, breathe, and write through the discomfort. It's often the gateway to deeper insight. 5. Overcoming the fear of silence. A common obstacle is the unease silence can evoke, as it forces us to face suppressed thoughts or emotions. To ease this, start small. Try 1-minute practices before longer sessions. Visualize silence as a warm, enveloping light, not an empty void. If fears arise, name them gently, like, "I feel anxious," and let them pass, like leaves on a stream. This approach, drawn from mindfulness traditions, transforms discomfort into an opportunity for growth. Benefits of these practices. These techniques cultivate a habit of inner stillness, gradually dissolving the ego's grip and revealing your connection to the infinite. Over time, you may notice increased clarity, reduced stress, and a deeper sense of purpose. Silence becomes a sanctuary, a space where you touch the eternal and return to the world renewed.
As we stand at the threshold of this journey, let us pause to reflect on the sacred gift of silence, a key not forged of iron or gold, but of stillness, unlocking the door to the infinite within. We have wandered through the ancient wisdom of sages, from the meditative stillness of the Buddha to the desert quiet of the Christian mystics, discovering that silence is no mere absence, but a vibrant presence, a canvas where the soul paints its deepest truths. We've explored silence as the still lake reflecting the eternal, the crucible burning away the ego, and the timeless now where all existence converges. Through practical practices, morning rituals, mindful pauses, silent walks, and reflective journaling, we've seen how silence can weave itself into the fabric of daily life, transforming fleeting moments into gateways to enlightenment. Silence is the language of the universe, spoken not in words, but in the spaces between, where the self dissolves and the infinite emerges. It is the mirror that reveals your true nature, the field where you meet the divine, the sky that holds every passing cloud without clinging. By embracing silence, you align with the rhythm of existence, awakening to the unity that binds all things. This is not a destination to reach, but a state to inhabit, a return to the source that has always been within you. Now, the invitation is yours. Step into the stillness. Begin with a single breath, a single pause, a single moment of quiet courage. Let silence be your teacher, your sanctuary, your key. As the Sufi poet Rumi whispered, the quieter you become, the more you are able to hear. What will you hear in the silence? Perhaps the whisper of your own soul, calling you home to the infinite. Try the practices we've shared. Start small, but start. Let each moment of silence be a step toward awakening. And as you do, ask yourself, what truths await me in the stillness? The answer lies not in words, but in the quiet itself. Step into it and let enlightenment unfold.